When things stop going the way Aries planned, it is not failure. It is redirection. And the universe does not redirect without a reason. There is a tendency, when life does not follow the course that was carefully laid out, to interpret that as a personal failing. To look at the collapsed plan, the shifted direction, the unexpected detour, and to feel that something went wrong because of something you did or did not do. But that is not what is happening here. What is happening is something far more purposeful. What looks like a wrong turn from where you are standing looks from a higher vantage point like the most intelligent route forward. The universe does not waste the steps of a person who is genuinely trying. It does not throw obstacles in the path of someone who is moving with honest intention and then leave them stranded. It redirects. It reroutes. It finds ways to bring the right person to the right destination, even when the original road closes. Aries, you have always had the courage to move forward. What is being asked of you now is a different kind of courage. The courage to trust that the direction you did not choose is still taking you somewhere worth arriving at. These 10 signs show that what looks like a detour is actually the clearest path forward Aries has ever been on. Sign 1. A plan you worked hard on suddenly falls through. You had a plan. You built it carefully. You gave it your time, your thought, your energy, and your genuine belief that it was the right direction. And then suddenly, without the warning you felt you deserved, it fell through. Not gradually, not in a way that gave you time to prepare, but with the kind of swift collapse that leaves a person standing in the middle of what they were building, holding pieces that no longer connect to anything. This is one of the most disorienting experiences available in a human life. Not because the plan was perfect, all plans have their imperfections, but because the investment was real. The hope behind it was real. The vision of where it was going to lead was real. And when something real falls through, it does not just take the plan with it. It takes a version of the future you had been quietly counting on. And that loss deserves to be acknowledged honestly before anything else can be built in its place. So let that be said clearly. The collapse of a plan you worked hard on is a real loss. Let yourself feel that. Do not rush past it into immediate rebuilding, into looking on the bright side before you have allowed yourself to feel the weight of the falling through. Aries carries great strength. And that strength sometimes pushes against the natural need to simply grieve something that mattered. But grief is not weakness. It is the honest response to loss, and it deserves its moment. When that moment has passed, and it will pass, something important will become visible in the wreckage. Something that the plan was covering. Plans, even good ones, can sometimes obscure what is actually most important by making the path look so clear and the destination seem so settled that we stop questioning whether the destination was the right one to begin with. When the plan falls through, the covering is removed, and what is revealed underneath is often a question so essential that the collapse of the plan, seen from that angle, begins to look less like an ending and more like an opening. The fallen plan is making room, not for something smaller, not for a consolation prize, for something that could not enter while the original plan was occupying the space. Aries, the collapse was not punishment. It was preparation. The question now is not how to rebuild what fell. The question is what you would build if you started from the truest understanding of what you actually want, what you actually need, and where you actually belong. That question, asked honestly, leads somewhere real. Let the fallen plan lead you to it. What is also worth understanding is that the work you put into the original plan was not wasted, even though it feels wasted right now. Every skill you exercised while building it, every connection you made in the process, every lesson about what works and what does not, all of that knowledge lives in you now and is available for what comes next. You are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. And that is a fundamentally better starting place than the one you had when the original plan began. The plan fell through because it was supposed to, not because the universe is careless with your time or indifferent to your effort, but because something larger has a different route in mind, one that will make more sense the further down it you travel. Trust the collapse. Trust what it is making room for. Trust that Aries is exactly the right sign to stand in the rubble of a fallen plan and find, in the quiet after the falling, the courage to begin again in a different direction. Sign 2. You feel pulled in a different direction than the one you chose. Something is pulling. You can feel it. Maybe it has been there for a while. This quiet pull towards something other than what is currently in front of you. A different kind of work. A different kind of life. A different arrangement of your days and your energy and your focus. And the pull is uncomfortable, not because it is strange, but because it is honest. because it is pointing away from the path you chose deliberately and are invested in, and towards something you did not plan for and maybe did not expect to want. Aries does not typically like to feel pulled. You are a sign that moves from intention, from decision, from the deliberate forward motion of your own will. Being pulled in a direction you did not choose feels at first like a loss of control, like something outside of you is interfering with the direction you have set. And so there is often an initial resistance, a firming up, a doubling down on the chosen path, a push against the pull because letting it win feels like giving up. But here is what the pull is not. It is not interference. It is not weakness. It is not confusion or fear trying to dress itself up as guidance. The pull you are feeling right now has a quality that is different from the anxious urgings of doubt. Those tend to scatter energy and produce more uncertainty the more attention you give them. This pull has a different quality. It is quiet, but it is consistent. It persists across different moods, different days, different circumstances. It does not require your fear to keep it alive. It simply keeps being there, regardless of whether you look at it or look away. That kind of persistence is the mark of genuine guidance. The universe does not send a signal once and then wait patiently while you ignore it. Sends it again and again, with increasing clarity, with increasing presence, until the person on the receiving end can no longer honestly pretend they are not feeling it. You are feeling it. And the fact that it is pulling you away from the direction you chose, the direction that seemed right, that you had reasons for, that you are already invested in, does not make the pull wrong. It makes it brave. It is easier to stay on the path you already chose. It is harder to acknowledge that something larger might have a different route in mind. But the harder thing is often the truer thing. And for Aries, the truer thing is always ultimately the thing worth pursuing. Sit with the pull. Stop fighting it long enough to actually listen to what it is saying. Let yourself ask, honestly and without defensiveness, whether the direction it is pointing toward might be more aligned with who you are now. Not who you were when you made the original choice, but who you are right now. You have grown. Your understanding of yourself has deepened. What felt right in an earlier chapter may simply no longer fit. That is not failure of judgment. That is the natural movement of an evolving life. And the pull is the compass. Sign 3. The people or situations that were not serving you begin to fall away. Some of the falling away is not your doing. You did not decide it, did not engineer it, did not even consciously invite it. People who were part of your regular life are gradually becoming less present. Situations you were regularly involved in are losing their grip on your time and attention. Patterns of relating and engaging that used to feel normal are starting to feel foreign. Like clothes that once fit but have been slowly outgrown without you noticing until you tried them on one day and found they no longer worked. This falling away is not abandonment. It is alignment. The universe, when it is redirecting someone with real purpose, clears the field. It removes from the path the things and people that would anchor the person to an old version of their life. Not maliciously, not cruelly, but efficiently and with care for what is actually needed. The clearing can feel like loss. It can trigger loneliness or confusion. It can make you wonder whether you did something wrong, whether you pushed people away, whether you are becoming someone less lovable or less interesting than you used to be. You did not push people away. You grew. And growth changes the gravitational field of a person's life. The connections that were built around a version of you that is completing their service will naturally drift. It is physics as much as it is spirit. When the mass changes, the orbit changes. This is not personal. It is a law of how living things work. What remains after the falling away is what is real. What was always real. The connections that are built on something genuine, on mutual care, on authentic understanding, on a shared quality of character that transcends circumstance. Those do not fall away. Those become more visible precisely because the things that were obscuring them have moved. Let yourself see who is still there after the clearing. That is your actual circle. That is the real network of your life. And it is the one you will carry forward into the new direction. The situations falling away deserve the same perspective. The commitments, obligations, roles, and involvements that are losing their pull on you are not falling away because you are becoming irresponsible or disengaged from life. They are falling away because they serve their purpose and the purpose is complete. Something new is waiting to take their place, something better suited to where you are actually going. The falling away is making room. Let it. Sign 4. An unexpected obstacle turns out to hide something better behind it. In the moment the obstacle appeared, It did not feel like it was hiding anything. It felt like exactly what it looked like, a wall. Something standing between you and where you were trying to go. Something requiring you to stop, to spend energy dealing with what you did not plan for, to delay progress on something you were ready to move forward with. The frustration was real. The inconvenience was real. The questions it raised about timing and readiness and whether you were on the right path, all of that was real. But now, with a little more time between you and the obstacle, something is becoming visible that was not visible before. Something that the obstacle was, in a very precise way, positioned in front of. Something that could only be found by going around the wall instead of through it. The detour created by the obstacle led you somewhere different than your original route would have. And what you are finding in that different place has a quality, a resonance, a feeling of rightness that your original destination did not fully carry. This is the most surprising thing about unexpected obstacles. They do not only block, they redirect. And the redirect is almost always more valuable than the original route, even though it never feels that way while the blocking is happening. While you are standing in front of a wall, it is very difficult to imagine that the path around it leads somewhere better. The mind keeps returning to the original direction, to what was planned, to what would have been if the obstacle had not appeared. The mind does not naturally trust the detour, but the deeper self does. The part of you that navigates by feeling rather than by plan, that part recognized something in the unexpected path around the obstacle. You may have felt it as a flicker of interest, a moment of unexpected aliveness, a sense that this detour was carrying energy that the original route was not quite carrying. That flicker was truth, and what it was pointing toward is now becoming clear. The better thing hidden behind the obstacle is not a lesser version of what you wanted. It is the more accurate version, more accurate to your actual life, your actual capacities, your actual path. It has been there the whole time, waiting behind the very thing that felt like it was stopping you. Obstacles that redirect with this kind of precision are not random. They are precise. And the precision is the universe's fingerprint on what is happening. You were meant to find this. The obstacle was the way there. Sign 5. You receive guidance through an unusual source. Not all guidance arrives through the expected channels. Not all wisdom comes from the wise figures you would logically look to. Not all direction comes from the places you have learned to check when you are uncertain. Sometimes the clearest guidance of all arrives through the most unexpected vessel, through a child who says something simple and devastating in its accuracy, through a stranger whose comment lands with the force of something meant specifically for you, through a book that falls open to the exact page you needed, through a quiet moment in an ordinary place that suddenly fills with meaning you cannot explain but also cannot dismiss. For Aries right now, guidance is arriving through channels that your rational mind would not have chosen. And the challenge is not in receiving the guidance, it is in trusting it. Because the unusual source makes the rational mind suspicious. The mind wants guidance from credentialed, logical, respectable sources. It wants advice it can verify and compare and analyze. And when guidance arrives through something unexpected, something informal, coincidental, strange, or simply quiet, the mind tries to talk you out of taking it seriously. Do not let it. The quality of guidance is not determined by the respectability of the source. The quality of guidance is determined by how deeply it resonates with the part of you that already knows. When the unusual guidance arrives and something in you stills, when the words or the moment land somewhere beneath your thinking mind and touch something true, that is the signal. That is how you know this message is real, regardless of the channel it traveled through. The universe is resourceful. It will use whatever is available to reach you with what you need to hear. If you have been resistant to more conventional forms of guidance, if you have been inside your own head too much lately, if the usual channels have felt empty or insufficient, then the message comes another way. Through the unusual, through the unexpected, through the moment you would not have chosen but that was chosen for you. Pay attention to those moments. They carry the most direct guidance available to you right now. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you applied this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. Sign 6. What you thought you wanted no longer brings the satisfaction it once did. This is a quiet sign, and it can be the most confusing one, because it does not involve an obvious event. Nothing dramatic happened. Nobody took something away from you. The situation is unchanged. The people involved are the same. The activity, the role, the achievement, it all looks exactly as it did when you first wanted it. But something is different. When you engage with it now, when you arrive at the thing you work toward, when you do the thing you thought you wanted, the feeling is not quite right. The satisfaction that should be there is thinner than it used to be, or absent entirely, or replaced by a restlessness you did not expect. This is one of the clearest signs of internal growth and genuine redirection. It is the sign that you have outgrown something without consciously choosing to outgrow it. The wanting changes when the person changes, and you have changed. The things that satisfied an earlier version of you were built for an earlier version of you. As you have grown, as your understanding has deepened, as what you know about yourself has expanded, the things that once fit your hunger no longer have the right shape for what you are hungry for now. This is not ingratitude. This is not fickleness. And it is not a failure of the thing itself. The thing may be genuinely good, genuinely valuable, worth wanting. But it was worth wanting for the person you were when you wanted it. That person has grown. And grown people need grown things, things calibrated to the depth and complexity and authentic desire of who they are now, not who they were then. What the absence of satisfaction is telling you is important. It is telling you that your real satisfaction now lives somewhere different. In a different kind of engagement, a different kind of contribution, a different kind of arrival. The restlessness you feel when the old satisfaction falls short is not a problem to fix. It is a compass. It is pointing you toward where your real satisfaction now lives. Follow it. Not impulsively, not without thought, but with the genuine willingness to let the new hunger lead you to the new thing it is built for. The redirection here is toward something that will actually satisfy the person you are becoming. And that is infinitely more valuable than the satisfaction of something that fits who you used to be. Sign 7. A new path appears where there was no path before. The landscape of your life has been changing. And somewhere in that changing landscape, in the space that was cleared when old plans fell through, when situations fell away, when obstacles redirected your route, something new has appeared. A path. Not a fully formed road with clear markers and a visible destination. Not something you could have mapped in advance, but a path. An opening in the direction you were not initially heading that has enough clarity, enough pull, enough sense of this could go somewhere real, to make it worth taking seriously. The appearance of a new path in a place where there was no path before is one of the universe's most direct communications. It is the answer to the question you may not have known you were asking. It is the open door at the end of the corridor that had seemed to end at a wall. It is the thing that makes the earlier difficulty make sense, because this path could only have appeared after everything that cleared the way for it to become visible. Aries, this new path does not require you to abandon your nature. You do not have to become cautious to walk it. You do not have to move slowly out of fear. But you do have to move consciously, with awareness of what this path is asking, what it requires, where it seems to be heading. Not controlled awareness that squeezes all the life out of the adventure, but the kind of awareness that lets you be genuinely present to what is unfolding, instead of rushing past it toward a destination you have already decided on. Walk this new path with the full fire of who you are. With your boldness, your willingness to pioneer, your genuine courage in the face of the unknown. Those qualities, the ones that have always defined Aries at its best, are exactly what this path was made for. It does not need a tentative version of you. It needs the real one. Step onto it fully. The beginning is the most important step. Sign 8. Your courage for a completely different direction begins to grow. Courage is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quietest growing thing. A slow widening of what feels possible, a gradual expansion of the internal boundaries that have been telling you no. And right now, inside you, something like that is happening. A courage you did not have before, or that you had in a different form pointing in a different direction, is beginning to build around the idea of going somewhere entirely different than where you originally intended. This new courage is different from the bold, charging, I will make this work kind of courage that Aries naturally carries. That courage is powerful and you know how to use it. This new courage is quieter and in its own way deeper. It is the courage to release your grip on the plan, to loosen your attachment to the specific destination you had fixed in mind, to let the direction of your life shift without experiencing that shift as defeat. The growing of this courage is itself a sign that you are ready. Courage does not grow where it is not needed. It does not expand in directions that have nothing to offer. The fact that it is building around the idea of a completely different direction means that some part of you, some honest, intelligent, future-facing part of you, has already recognized that the different direction is real, is valid, and is worth your fire. Let the courage grow without trying to rush it. Let it build at the pace it builds. And when it has grown enough, when you feel the quiet but unmistakable internal readiness that says, "I can do this, I am ready to go this way," trust it. Step into the different direction with everything you have. The universe does not build courage in a person for a direction that does not exist. The different direction is real, and you are becoming ready for it. Sign 9. A feeling of peace settles in around something you once fought against. There was something you resisted, something you argued with internally, something you pushed against, something you were not willing to accept. It may have been a circumstance you could not control, a truth about your situation that you were not ready to fully face, a direction you were being nudged toward that felt wrong because it was not the one you had chosen. And you fought it. With good reason, with real energy, with the full force of Aries' natural resistance to anything that feels like an imposition. But something is shifting in that resistance now. The tension around the thing you fought is loosening. The mental argument that used to restart every time you thought about it is running out of energy. And in the space where the fighting used to be, something unexpected is settling. Not resignation, not giving up. Something softer and at the same time more solid than either of those. Peace. Peace is one of the most underrated signs of being in alignment. When a person stops fighting what is true and lets the truth settle into them. When the internal war around a situation comes to a quiet ending, there is a release of energy that has been locked in the fighting. That released energy is now yours. It belongs to the forward direction. It belongs to building what comes next rather than maintaining the resistance to what already is. The peace settling around something you once fought is the sign that you have, on some level, made the deeper acceptance. You have decided, perhaps not consciously but truly, that you trust the direction your life is moving even when it was not the direction you planned. That trust is not passive. It is one of the most active, courageous, and spiritually mature things a person can do. Aries accepting redirection with peace is Aries at a profound level of strength. Honor that in yourself. The peace is not weakness. It is wisdom. Sign 10. Looking back, every closed door was preparing you for this exact moment. This is the sign that brings everything else into context. It is the perspective that only becomes available after enough of the other signs have appeared. After the fallen plans and the unexpected pulls and the falling away and the hidden opportunities and the unusual guidance and the fading satisfactions and the new paths and the growing courage and the settling peace. After all of that, something shifts in the way the past looks. You look back. And the closed doors, the ones that hurt when they closed, the ones you stood in front of and grieved, the ones that shut before you were ready and that you spent time trying to pry back open, those doors now look different. From where you are standing, in the middle of this redirection that is proving itself to be real, the closed doors are beginning to reveal themselves as exactly what they were: preparation. Every closed door removed a direction that was not the truest one. Every no created space for a yes that was more aligned with where your life was actually heading. Every ending, even the painful ones, especially the painful ones, was teaching you something you needed, building something in you that could not have been built any other way, or clearing a path that could not have opened while the old door remained available to walk through. This is the view from inside a genuine redirection. It is the view that makes what felt like a story full of setbacks reveal itself as a story full of precision. Not a random collection of things that happen to you, but a deliberate and intelligent process of preparation. Preparation for what? For this moment. For the new direction. For the version of Aries that is arriving on the other side of all the redirecting, more capable, more aligned, more authentically themselves than any previous version. The closed doors were not failures. They were doorways of another kind, doorways that led not forward into the wrong place, but inward toward the deeper understanding of where the right place actually was. And now, with that understanding in hand, the new door stands open. Walk through it knowing that every closed door was on your side. Every no was a gift. And every redirect was the universe doing what it has always done for those who trust it, leading them with great precision and care to exactly where they were always meant to arrive. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal, and you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. What has been shared in this reading is not just a list of signs. It is a map of where Aries is right now, in the middle of a redirection that is real, that is purposeful, and that is leading somewhere genuinely better than where the original plan was heading. And like all maps, it is most useful not just for understanding where you are, but for helping you trust the path you cannot yet fully see. Trust is not a natural first instinct for a sign as self-reliant and action-oriented as Aries. You are built to create your own direction, to chart your own course, to use your fire to forge the path rather than wait for it to be revealed. And that quality is not a flaw, it is one of your greatest strengths. But even the strongest, most self-directed person sometimes needs to allow something larger than their own planning to show them where they belong. And what is larger is not working against you. It is working with everything it has in your favor. The 10 signs described in this reading are evidence that the redirection is already in motion. It has already begun. You did not have to ask for it, did not have to plan it, did not have to figure out how to make it happen. It is happening because you have grown past the old container, because the old direction was leading somewhere that was good but not great, because the universe recognized something in you that is ready for more. And when the universe recognizes readiness, it acts. What is being asked of Aries now is not passivity. It is not the kind of trust that sits still and waits. It is the active trust of someone who moves forward on the new path even while the full picture is not yet clear, who engages with the new connection even before knowing exactly where it leads, who opens to the new direction before having all the answers, who steps through the open door with the fire of someone who knows, deep in their bones, that they are exactly where they are supposed to be. Aries, you are being redirected for the better. Every sign in this reading points to the same truth. What looks like a detour is the path. What looks like loss is clearing. What looks like failure is preparation. And what is waiting at the end of this redirect, the life, the chapter, the version of yourself that is being built through everything you are currently navigating, is more than worth the journey to reach it. Keep moving. The direction is right.